Now that we know what a good and bad control icon is and what our control icons are used for, along with how to create our own custom ones, we're now going to make the same thing, but we're going to make shelf buttons for these. So everything we do in shelf is going to be looking at our script editor and applying that. So our first one is the circle. Well, this is a normal basic, go up to create, NURBS primitive, circle, and control shift. And there we go. So I should be able to press it and we got our circle. Good. So I clear my history. And now we're going to do our square. Now we make sure that we are in linear mode. And we're going to trace the grid. Hold down X. Click. 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 And you can see I can go to any of these points. Click. Click. And hit enter. Now, right as I hit enter, this curve command popped up. So I'm just going to highlight it, middle mouse drag it down, and I'm going to go increase this, my script editor, so I can see more of it. And there we go. We have our command, and at the end we have a semicolon. We know that's the end of a mel command. So I don't really believe that, so we're going to test that out. I'm going to delete my square. Highlight it. I technically didn't have to highlight since it's the only thing in there. And hit the single play button. Boom, we got our square. So how do I get this up here? Well, the quickest way is say File, Save, Script to Shelf. Now that anything is highlighted, it will actually make a shelf button for. So I can hit Create and say this is a square. There we go. We got a square. Boom, boom. Okay. So now we're going to make our cube. So we're going to create our polygon cube and scale it up to match the right size. There we go. Now this is actually going to be the same thing. We're just going to trace over it. I'm going to delete my command in here before, but this next one I'm going to do a little bit different spin on it. So let's just trace on top. This time holding down V. Okay. Now, all this nonsense popped up here, so we're going to ignore that. Hit enter, and there we go. Middle mouse drag. Now, this is a much bigger command because we did a lot more to it, but it still has a semicolon only at the end. So, let's delete my square. There it is. So now if I highlight it and hit play, there we go. So this time instead, I'm going to middle mouse drag it up to our shelf. Bam. And that's actually one of the very quick ways of doing it. How do I alter it? Just like we did before, I can open it by right-clicking on it. And now I can change my naming in here so it doesn't have a name, so I can say this is cube. Like that. And we have this huge tooltip, and I could say create a cube icon. Oh, and we can also say cube up here too. Make life a whole lot easier looking at it. So same thing with the other tooltip for the other one. Actually had the command in it, but now we move our mouse over. So this is pretty much what we're doing. If we do a series of steps inside the script editor, we just do that, and we can drag and drop it. We could also go in and modify the code. We can say edit. And that jumps us right to the code. And I could just put more lines of code in here. If you notice at the end, yeah, it's going to be a little while, so let's just slide over, semicolon. So if I came down to another line and wanted to put more code or make multiple control curves at one time, there you go. This, if you want to create 10 curves at one shot, you can just put 10 curve commands and generate it like that.